Hello, my name is Joe Companion with the Harpoon Brewery in Boston, Mass. and Windsor, Vermont. I'm here at Table and Vine in West Springield today to talk to you a little bit about a couple of processes. First and most importantly is how to tap a keg correctly so that you don't get what's called in the beer industry a beer bath. And then secondly, we'll get into the tapping of a cold plate system. So let's get right to it and tap a keg. What you have here is called an American Sankey picnic pump. Basically how this is used, it's great for at home if you're buying a keg from a local store, for instance, Table and Vine in West Springield. You'll get sent home one of these. What you want to do is you basically bring it home, you line up the grooves on this Sankey with the notches in the keg itself. Most importantly, do not touch the handle on this Sankey. That will activate either way the hose that actually will pour the beer. It'll activate that and you'll actually get what's called in the beer industry a beer bath. The beer will shoot out of the keg. So stay away from that handle at all times. Basically, like I said, you line up the notch with the groove, stay away from that top part, twist it on. Make sure the little handle on the little activation thing on the picnic pump is shut down. It's just in the down spot. And just tap the keg, push down. Now you have an activated, freshly tapped keg. Go over to a nice glass, pour yourself a beer. The first beer that you pour might be a little bit on the foamy side. So we're gonna do another one. Keep going. All right, just pour yourself a beer. Now you're noticing that the beer is coming out really slow. That's the thing with a picnic pump. Stop, set down your beer and actually pump it. That'll put a little bit of oxygen inside the keg and pressurize that keg. Just a few pumps will do, and there you go. It's all activated, ready to go. Nice head retention, and there you go. Nicely poured Harpoon IPA. Next, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a cold plate system. Basically, it has 4 different pieces of equipment. First, we always start out with the keg itself. We have our keg, we have an American Sankey, which will tap the keg. We have the cold plate unit itself, and also the regulator and CO2 that'll control the carbon dioxide that we pressurize the keg, that'll create the pressure to pour the beer properly. As I said before, we're gonna line up the grooves with the notches in the keg. Again, most importantly, do not touch that handle to activate the CO2, otherwise you'll get what's known as a beer bath. So we'll line that up, stay away from the handle, twist it on, and snap it down. You'll hear that little burst of air. That's actually CO2 being shot into the keg to pressurize the keg. What you'll see here is a regulator and CO2 tank. Standard pressure for me is to start at 20 pounds of CO2 pressure to pressurize the keg. Depending on the volume of the beer, you can go as high as 30. As you'll see here with the beers that I'm going to be pouring, I'm about 28 pounds. A lot of times people will call up the store and say, you know, my beer's pouring really foamy, it's pouring super fast. That's basically, this is what will cause that. If too much CO2 actually gets into the keg, you'll have what's called saturation and your beer will pour foamy. Too much of the CO2 is actually absorbed into the beer itself. So when you do pour the beer, you're getting all those bubbles and stuff from the CO2, and therefore that's why you're getting foamy. So for me, a standard pressure is 20 pounds to start, and then adjust it accordingly depending on the beer itself. To adjust the pressure, this regulator that I have has just a little knob. You loosen the nut behind it, turn it right or left, it goes higher or lower. A lot of them that you will get has a little nut or a bolt on the end, and you take a little screwdriver and you turn it right to left. That's how you can raise or decrease the amount of pressure that you put into the keg. What you'll see here is a standard cold plate system. Basically what we do is we cover that plate itself entirely with ice so that as the beer goes through there, it's gonna chill it right down. You wanna put ice underneath and on top, all around. Fill that cold plate, all the way the hoses and everything, buried in ice. That'll give it a really nice pour, kind of help if the temperature's a little high on the keg itself. That'll kind of offset that. One very important thing to know about a cold plate is basically before you do anything with it, you want to tap the keg and run beer through this plate itself. Most commonly, the store will actually have the plate all cleaned. It'll have water inside of that plate. If you add ice to the plate before you run the water out of it, it'll actually freeze up. So you tap the keg, you pour the beer through the lines, that'll get all the water out of that plate itself, and then you will add the ice to it to chill it down and create a perfect pour. So we're just gonna add some ice. Again, this is just a demonstration, but you're gonna wanna lift this plate up put the ice underneath it, around it, all the way up over these hoses themselves. The colder you can get that, the better, and it'll pour a wonderful beer. Last thing, you get to enjoy an ice cold draft beer out of a cold plate. The proper way to pour a beer, just so you know, is you hold the glass 45-degree angle, open that faucet all the way, open that tap handle all the way up, actually pour it down at an angle, and then right at the end, tilt it up, shut it down, and you'll have a perfect Harpoon IPA on draft. And there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I definitely appreciate it. Cheers.